Let's get physical. April and May were both fantastic months in terms of Nintendo Switch imports. During our weekly series, we tallied 21 imports for these months, and we're going to round them up nicely in one little package, splicing together footage from the episodes to make it more convenient for you guys. Without further ado, in no particular order, here are the imports for April and May 2020. Celeste is leading the charge this week. Yes, this was released physically in the West thanks to limited run games a while back, but for those who missed out, you can now get your hands on the Japanese release thanks to Fly High Works. There is a standard release as well as a minor collector's edition thing that includes 6 postcards and 6 Polaroid pictures. This is an all-time indie classic, exceptional platforming and a great story combined together. If you missed the limited run release, then this looks to be a fine option. Little Busters is from the same company that brought us Clannad, and if that means something to you, then you know that Little Busters should have the quality. We already have a written review for this one up on the website, written by one of our reviewers, Marion, who is a fan of visual novels, far more of an authority on the genre than myself. We will try to work that one into a video, but we may not be able to, so I highly recommend you head over to the website to read their review. The link should be in the description below. After you've watched this video though. It looks to be a top tier visual novel on the Switch, and the best news is that the Japanese release does have English on the cartridge, and so is very ripe for import if you're into the genre. Links are below. Yumeutsutsu is a visual novel double pack, again a very interesting one. I have a lot of projects on the go at the minute, so either we have a review for this up already, or we will have one up pretty soon. This game, no I'm not saying its name again, is actually 2 games. Remaster, which is the main game, and the other is Reafter. It's kind of like a set of epilogues. They are both sold separately on the eShop for an expensive price, but are together on the cartridge. If you want to know what they're all about, well, they are visual novels set with girl-on-girl action. It's a mature rated release about video game studio run by women who have a tendency to get it on. Now, importers, listen up, because the Japanese physical release, only one of the games has English, so you don't really want to import the Japanese release. However, the Asian Chinese release does have English, so that is the one that you want to import. The links below in the description are for the Asian English release, okay? As always, if any of the games here take your fancy and you want to import them for yourself, then there are links below in the description and the pinned comment as to where you can find them for yourself. They are affiliate links, so any purchase that you make using those links helps out the SwitchWatch team so much. You guys are always amazing, and we thank you so much for helping us in this regard. You're wonderful people. And in return, you can get 5% off your order if when you check out, you find the coupon code. It's very, very small to find it, but it is there when you're checking out. You click on that, you enter the coupon code SwitchWatchTV, all one word, SwitchWatchTV, and you can get 5% off your order. Little Town Hero is getting its physical release in Japan this week thanks to Rainy Frog. This is a highly divisive game. Some enjoyed it, some absolutely hated it. I kind of did both in my review of it. Anyways, this physical release does have English, so you can import this one if you want to, or you can wait for a few months for NIS America to release their physical in the summertime, which has a few bonus things in it. Super Real Mahjong Love 2-7 is a 6-game collection of old Mahjong games from like the Saturn or PC Engine CDs, Sharp X6 8000. I have no idea which specific ports they are, but they are from around that era. They are basically strip Mahjong. You win at Mahjong, girls get naked. With strategically placed light, of course. Now, there's no English for these, which is a shame because, believe it or not, I actually really like Mahjong. My wife is Chinese and her family taught me how to play it. It's a fun game. Promise of Naked Ladies only helps things. Even though there's no English, there's also a nice collector's edition that you may fancy if you're crazy enough to import. This includes a special case with new artwork, reprinted instruction cards from the arcade games, I presume, and a miniature art book. Is it bad that I really want this? Am I a perv, or do I just want to play Mahjong? You decide. Bokuhime Project is a visual novel from Nipponichi Software, not their usual style of release. Anyways, there's no English for this one, so not worth an import. Moero Crystal H. This is the latest Play Asia exclusive, which
technically counts as both low print and import in my opinion, but anyways, this is a JRPG, a very risque one at that. I believe it's the third game in the Moero series, and is being brought to English for the first time. Supposedly a sexy dungeon crawling comedy game with some touchy-feely segments thrown in. This time on the Switch, you can do double the feeling at the same time, and it even includes HD rumble. Like most games of this type, the trailer seems absolutely terrified to show any gameplay, but it seems to be a first-person dungeon crawling JRPG, similar to a game like Etrian Odyssey. Orders for the Standard Edition and Collector's Edition open on May 28th. The Collector's Edition will nab you a manual, soundtrack CD, art book, sticker set, certificate, collector's box, as well as a mini keychain. If you're planning on ordering this on the 28th at 11 PM Hong Kong time, then if you'd be so kind to come back to this video and use the link below while you do it so you can help us out at the same time. We really appreciate it. One of the more interesting releases from a collector standpoint is that of Synaptic Drive. This is a 1v1 third-person arena shooter, which could be a lot of competitive fun if you have a friend by your side. Although I have to admit it looks quite basic, still, lots of customization and classic-style gameplay. Who knows, it might be a bit of a gem. This has been confirmed to be a digital-only release in the West, but is physical in Japan and has English on the cartridge. Umihara Kawase Bazooka is releasing in Japan. This is already up for order as a Western version from Strictly Limited Games, but the Japanese version is the early way to get it if you don't want to wait or you don't want the collector's box. It has English, so it's very viable for import. There's also a couple of visual novels releasing. Firstly, Uto no Prince Sama, Amazing Aria, and Sweet Serenade Love, 2 games in one I believe, plus Daroku Ayakashimori. Neither of these have English, both are otame, I'll just leave it at that. Japan is also getting a couple of late releases such as Zombie Army Trilogy and Farming Simulator 20. Rather unbelievably, it's taken a while, but the acclaimed visual novel Spirit Hunter NG is finally getting a Japanese release this week, long after the Western release. No need to import this one, of course, because it's been out in Europe and America for God knows how long, so only get this one if you're actually based in Japan, I suppose. Phantasy Star Online 2 Cloud Episode 6 is getting released in Japan this week. I know there are many fans of the original PSO, but sadly this is a Japanese exclusive on the Switch with no English, and I'm guessing it's not even been able to be played without some kind of trickery with your web connection. I'm guessing it's locked to Japanese IP addresses or something. Here's me sounding like I know what I'm talking about when I don't know jack. But anyways, even collectors or major fans will probably want to stay away since there's not even a cartridge with it. It's just extra in-game items and content to download on the free initial download. There's a standard edition and a limited edition which gives you a pin badge, I believe. Dragon Quest X, yes, the online game, is getting another package of all 5 expansions in one. There's not much to say here as it's an MMO, but only available in Japan, unless you do some magic with VPNs and stuff, and even then, it's all in Japanese. Also, AO Tennis 2 is getting a Japanese release this week. This already has a Western release, so no need to take too much interest in this one. There has been a lot of confusion regarding the physical release of Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm for Burrito Thingy. Well, Europe does have a physical release, although only in certain places, and it's been selling out pretty fast. It turns out that the US version has been a no-show, which I could have sworn was announced at the same time the game was, but I don't know. I'm doubting myself now. Anyways, it looks like US people are going to have to import this one if you want a physical version. Thankfully, you have 3 options. The European one, which is going to be a bit hit and miss right now, probably thanks to COVID-19 or perhaps a low print number. However, you can pick up the Japanese version, which does have English, as well as a South Asian version, which does too. There are links below in the description if you want to pick this up. The one you don't want is the Hong Kong Chinese version, because that one does not have English. As I said, the links below are for the ones that you'll be wanting if any American friends want to secure their copy. Maybe the US version will turn up later, but who knows during this crazy time. The Fox Awaits Me is a visual novel releasing in Japan. This is releasing digitally in the West, but only physically in Japan for now. The good news is that the Japanese release does have English, so if you want it physically, then it's going to be worth an import. And not only that, but there's a standard edition, as well as a limited edition if you fancy a drama CD, as well as a soundtrack.
Anyways, this is a bishoujo, which means it stars young girls. The main character has lost their memory in a folklore-infused world with some lovely artwork and music. Olympia Soiree is another visual novel, this time of the ever-popular otome genre. Sadly, this one does not have English, but just like The Fox Awaits Me and every other visual novel released in Japan, there's a standard edition and a collector's edition, which includes a drama CD and a booklet. Beast Simulator is finally seeing a physical release in Japan. This already has a Western release, thanks to Microid, so there's no need to actually be excited by this one. And the same can be said of Enter the Gungeon, which already has a physical release somewhere in the West. I know it's bad, but I can't actually remember if it's a low print release or not. But anyways, it's releasing physically this week in Japan if you fancy it. And last but not least, Metro Redux is seeing a release in Japan too.
And there we have it, guys. That's a lot of imports for both April and May. Some absolute quality and a good handful of essentials, in my opinion. As always, please consider using the links below if you want to import any of them for yourself and support the team at the same time. We really appreciate it. Let us know which import you have the most interest in and if you enjoyed this roundup video or not. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.